The hack of the week is our final hack of the week for the Thriving Beyond the Storm series, where I sort of teach like a financial personal development concept. This time it's a little more industry related as far as film goes. But I think this is something interesting that even people that may be outsiders to the industry, you can kind of look at that and take a couple things away from it to where, you'll say, okay, my industry is not so different after all. There's some things here I can actually pull and apply toward what I'm doing. All right. So this one is called The Things They Don't Teach You About Filmmaking in Hollywood. The things they don't teach you about filmmaking in Hollywood. All right. So with me coming from film and this being my field, and I had an opportunity to once again work with amazing, great people over the years, and I continue to while I'm out here in Los Angeles as well as in Michigan. So this is just something to where, once again, this applies more toward newer filmmakers starting out, maybe filmmakers who feel like they're kind of in a rut. But once again, think about an industry you might be in, and maybe there's some things here that can apply toward what you're doing, because it's all about innovating. I couldn't tell you how many seminars or webinars or just meeting different people at networking events from a completely different field, and it was one nugget, one little hack that changed the game for me. So I encourage you, even if you're not directly involved in filmmaking or in that industry, encourage you to still check it out. The first thing a lot of people don't realize about filmmaking is that what I've noticed is that it really comes down to two different mindsets when it comes to working in the film industry. First one is crew supporter minded versus content creator minded. All right. So this is really important when people are starting out. Obviously, cameras are a lot smaller and more accessible nowadays in 2020 versus when I started in 2007. But even back then, there was still a bit of there was an independent route you can go down. But what you got to realize is that people are split into two ways. The crew supported minded, this is someone who, once again, they can be a little bit more on the technical side. They want to know the when and where, how long is this project? How much is it paying? What's the end goal? These tend to be, for those of you guys familiar with the DISC assessment, the more C's and the S's of the world. All right. And there's someone that, once again, they have nothing against, creating their own, other people going out and creating content, but they have more of a supporter role. They want to be a crew member that's helping string the lights, or they're helping, wrangle talent on set or work with the cameras. But really the spotlight isn't for them. They're not about really creating. They're pretty more stability minded. And at the same time, we need people like that to help really make a production the best it can. They're just not someone that's going to go out and take out a loan and create their own film. Now, this content creator minded. So this is someone that, once again, has all the dreams and ideas, and they want to change the world, and they want to go out and direct and create their own content initially. So this is someone that necessarily isn't someone who wants to sort of just sit on the sidelines or be part of a crew, because they know there's content at the end of the day that they want to get out, that they're itching to get out there. And with that, they just tend to have more of an independent mindset. Yeah, they may work on sets, they may work on crews or other people's projects, but something itching deep down has them writing, directing, and producing their own content. And they're not so much worried about what other productions can they work on, not so much about the technical, and not as what I would like to call, crew supporter minded, where they're worried about, what the next job is or whatnot. They're more so like, I want to create my own. And once again, there's no right or wrong. It's just that from my experience, most people fall into these two categories. And what I encourage filmmakers who feel like they may be stuck in a rut, they can't wonder why they're pretty much not being able to see how they can work with other people. They're not able to really know why, they tend to not be able to, make things happen, is because, they may be talking to somebody who's crew supporter minded versus content creator minded. The crew supporter person, they're not looking at working on this project for 3 to 4 years for no pay, and something might not come out of it, but it might change the world. They're like, hey, I need to get paid now, and tell me the when and where. All right. And then once again, a crew supported minded person can expect someone who maybe come aboard the project who's very innovative, creative. We should do all this stuff. And like, hey, I just need you to hold this light over here. I need you to work this camera and not necessarily worry about some big picture vision. So there's no right or wrong. It's just that through my experience, this is sort of this is more of a subconscious category that people fall into. It's either one or the other. This is pretty much at its core. So that's something to keep in mind. Next level that I've been learning is that there's 3 levels in the industry. There's 3 levels. There's production, there's what we call creative, and then there's what we call business. And production, once again, tends to be the route that is the more technical side. It's pretty much the route that most people starting out in film, this is where we all start initially. It's a lot of it has to do with the fact that in production, this is when you first learn about the camera, how to edit, how to, grab lights and different things and to create a physical production. This is a lot of the technical things you learn in the field on a film set. All right, that's the production side. Creative side is once again more linked to the content creator mind that I mentioned. So this is someone who's more of a writer, director, producer. They love creating vision. So they're writing the scripts, they're directing the content, they're producing content. They're not necessarily as technical, and they're not necessarily one that's holding the camera, that's putting the lights together, that's doing all the physical, more manual labor stuff. But they have the big picture in mind, and they can help push and motivate the production level. And then third, you have the business side. And this is once again a level that unless you're out in either Los Angeles or Atlanta, that most people in the industry are barely exposed to. A lot of times we just think that production side is all that exists. You grab a camera, you work with people, and you work on these jobs, but we're so unaware of the whole mystique of the business side, which has to do with the studios, what's called the talent agencies, talent managers, entertainment attorneys, and that's more of the business side. And they're kind of like the inner spoke of the wheel that really keeps the industry going. They're sort of, they're pretty much, the buck stops with them when it comes to the industry as a whole, reaching out more into Hollywood. All right, so when you think about it, first identifying, am I crew supporter minded? Am I content creator minded? Once again, there's no right or wrong, but the point is that someone in the industry, when you ask this question and you figure this out early on, it can save you a lot of time toward really getting down the path you want. All right, it's all about figuring out who you are and what you want. And I feel like that first, identify those 2, and then you identify between these 3, what area appeals to you the most, based on, once again, where you fall into as far as minded it. All right, so first problem, when I work with a lot of filmmakers, is that the first thing they can't figure out is really how to master themselves. This applies more for either filmmakers that are just starting out, not sure what they want to do, but also applies toward filmmakers that seem to be stuck in a rut or feel like they're treading water, unmotivated, not driven. Thing is, they know what they need to do, but they can't quite get themselves to do it. All right? They struggle with consistent self-study. They know they need to be studying their screenwriting. They know they need to be writing. They know they need to be studying directing. They know they need to be checking this movie out. They know they need to be breaking this down and reading this script. But a lot of times it's either motivation, it's things within themselves. There's gaps and blind spots about their own personality, their own habits, their own ingrained habits that's keeping them from reaching that level when it comes to developing the craft of screenwriting. Once again, I've been at all these stages. I'm no perfect saint coming to you like, look at what I know. This is like, hey, I've been through all these stages. All right, so a lot of this is based on experience because I've been through it. All right, but there were certain levels where they had trouble self-studying with screenwriting, working on the craft of shooting in the field, of directing, other self-study they should be doing. Second problem that a lot of people went through, and I went through as well, is they couldn't figure out how to master a team. All right, they may have trouble working alongside, with the team or different crew members, building a solid, fluid team, lack of clarity, issues with the cast, a lack of relationship building, long-term growth and stability. I've been a victim of this as well. because when you don't have the relationship and trust is there, as soon as the check is gone, that's where someone goes, or is very inconsistent or very little known communication. And a lot of that times that once again comes to a communication breakdown. Because a content creator mind, you're trying to talk to someone who's crew supporter focused about, hey, this great project for the next 3 years, work for free, we can create something great. And they're like, hey, I just need to know the when and where, how much I'm getting paid. So you can't talk to someone with a content creator lens. You can't talk to a crew supported person with a content creator lens. It's just the way it is. All right. So that's the second problem, is that some people can't figure out how to master the team. And I've been there as well. Third problem is that they can't figure out how to master the end game. A lot of times, filmmakers, including myself, have gone through the rut of a day job, work a day job, shoot the film, go through what's called a random film festival circuit. Circuit means when you take your film around to different festivals and submit it. You do that, then you do it all over again. You work a day job, you save money, shoot a film, it goes through a few random film festivals, and then you repeat it again. Now, once again, there's nothing wrong with that depending on what your goals and ambitions are. There's some filmmakers that, once again, that's the path they want. There's no right or wrong, but you just have to identify if this is the field you want to stay in, or this is the niche you want to stay in, go after that and kill it in that lane. But there's been some people to where they can't really figure out how to get past that next level if that's what they want. All right, if that's what they want. So the film festival hamster wheel. So they kind of get stuck in this rut of doing that. That's, once again, that's not where they want to be. They feel there's no progress, or stagnant, a feeling. They work that day job. Once again, they can repeat the same rut. They spend all this money on film festival fees. They travel, room and board, show at a festival, then it's back to square one. At the end of the day, a lot of long-term effort when there's no concise plan with a strategy, deadlines, checkpoints. Once again, if they want more, then they struggle in this area, and they end up having, at the end of the day, no talent manager. That's someone who manages the talent, kind of paints, sees where you want to go, whether you're a writer, director, producer, actor. There's no talent agent. This is someone that negotiates deals, that goes to bat for you. They find you the jobs, the work. All right, they can't make miracles happen, but there's someone that finds people writing jobs, directing jobs, producer jobs. At the end of the day, they're putting out this product, this short film they put in festivals. There's being no distribution. Release of no distribution, and the struggle. Finally, there's no deal that comes out of it. There's no deal. It doesn't lead to what we call like a first look deal. Once again, that's like when you're on another level. But once again, like when it comes to distributors, no distribution deals. There's no next step. It's kind of, okay, back to the drawing board. Let me go save up and make my next project, which is cool because there's no right or wrong path. But if you feel like you're hitting the ceiling and not getting to the path you want, this is pretty much what we encounter for those that want a different path. And yeah, Overland, awesome. Trust is about open communication. That's real. All right. And thank you, Vinda, as well. I know we had a couple late timers. Myron, what up? Thanks for dropping in. Kyra, thanks for dropping in for Thriving Beyond the Storm. And yeah, it's that same cycle. All right. So that's the third problem, is that a lot of filmmakers out there, they can't figure out how to really master the end game. All right. So what does it really take to succeed in this business? All right. What does it take? What's that magic bullet to succeed in the film business? All right. Well, I'll tell you, the secret is none. All right. I wish I could tell you that you do A, B, and C, you make this short film, you go to this festival, Sundance, you'll get in front of this producer, and they'll give you a Netflix deal, and you're up the river. All right, I've been in this industry, I say professionally, in film and video media at least 12 years, but filmmaking professionally going on 7. Going on 7. I still haven't figured it out. All right, so I wish I could tell you there's one way to do it, but there's so many different examples from all these different directors that either just went out and did their own thing, they saved up the money, they crowdfunded online. There's people that went the route to film school, they got hired through film school. So one thing I would tell you at the end of the day, there's no one right way or not one right path, but it's all about grit, tenacity, And I'll tell you what doesn't help you succeed in this business. It's not about having the most fancy new camera. All right. There's people I know with a nice fancy new camera. They're not in the industry anymore. It's not about getting that film into that festival. Oh, if I just get this into Sundance, if I just get this into Toronto, oh man, they're gonna blow up. That's not about it. It's not even about getting signed. Getting signed with this company on Netflix just gave us a deal. And Netflix does help. All right, but the point I'm trying to make is that you can't let other people tell you what's hot, what content can get you signed. You got to go out and do it. You got to go out and tell people what the industry, you got to tell people what the market is looking for, what consumers want. And it's more about really sort of being a hybrid, if you will, between the old Hollywood traditional way where you try and go raise money, you sit in meetings, you talk to studios. And then there's the indie way where, hey, you got this little mini script, go out with some friends with a camera on a weekend and just shoot it. Just shoot it, but still build relationships and work your way up in the industry as you go. So for some of you guys that are starting out in filmmaking, I wish I had a clear-cut answer, but there is none. It takes consistency. It takes grit. It takes being humble and being able to be uncomfortable, learning from people that know more than you, that may be younger than you, and they may be better at this specific area. You suck in this area, but they're really good in this area, and you need to learn from them. All right? And that's part of it. It's more so of a mindset. It's not it's not a silver bullet. All right? So that's what it really takes to succeed in this business. All right, and those are the hacks as far as what they don't teach you about filmmaking in Hollywood. All right, so as we wrap up, once again.
Really quick, I just wanted to say that,
Sure.
it's interesting that I think it's just the same thing across the board for a lot of other industries. There's no secret sauce for it. It does take a lot of grit to be able to thrive in your lane of work. So I just wanted to validate that point of it, because every lane in whatever career path, those are the things that we're experiencing. We're always looking for a secret sauce. People are always looking to buy things, all these different offers that are going on Facebook world or on the internet world, because we think that there's easy fix. There's not. You just got to go through the process.
Yeah, you got to, exactly. Eric Thomas called it. You have to trust the process, not rush the process.
Right.
Trust the process, not rush the process. So yeah, you hit the nail right on the head, Fatai. So